this is going to blow your mind because it blew my mind, okay? So I'm going to take you back in time to a past philosophy. I'm not going to repeat it. We'll briefly cover it, but I really want you to think about this if you were here for this time. Do you remember the first philosophy when I told you about my theory about creation? Remember with creation, the end conclusion I said, that your limits on the belief of creation was essentially equivalent to your ability to create. You remember that one? I remember I told you, I said, go out and create. Exactly. That's the whole point. That was the whole message. It was a philosophy thing. You could have got mad at the Bible, the whatever you want to get mad at. But the end of the day, it was saying to go create. It was saying that the ability for you to create and to go create something. You remember that? Good. I hope you do. Because tell me this. I don't know. This was for me. This is why it blew my mind. I was thinking about it, and I really realized, for me, it just seems like that was an inflection point. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. You kind of remember that things ever since that philosophy have changed. Something has changed since then, since that philosophy. I don't know what it is, but I could really kind of remember back to when that philosophy happened and then everything afterwards. Since that one philosophy, it was tripping me out. Because I was like, I could see it, like I could feel it in a way. I was like, I remember giving that philosophy, but I'm just thinking how even my mindset in a way has changed. So I don't know if that was for you or not. That blew my mind because when I was looking back at it, I was like, whoa, things are really, really different there. It was a milestone. It was something shifted from that day. Like, I don't know what it was. We said a shift was coming, but now when I look back, I'm like, a lot of things were underpinned through that philosophy. And now it's just a date. I don't know the exact date, but it's just a moment. And I could remember that moment. I could just kind of see the change even in myself. So I don't know. That's what it was. But this part of this whole philosophy, this whole thing when we went over it, was that, the end conclusion I made, like I said, with creation. The whole idea is that, like, if you can't believe this crazy concept that you were created, what else don't you believe can be created? What is the limit to your imagination, and even how has that shaped your life? Literally, some people can't even believe it. And why? I think creation is important, not how you were created. I mean, that's a big level, but you all are trying to create something. You guys want to create content, they want to create wealth. Everything you're doing, you're creating. So I really believe some people's limits on life, what they believe about what can be created and their imagination towards it, there's a certain limit to it. If you can't believe this crazy concept that an invisible man in the sky made you, it sounds so absurd to you. Honestly, going broke to extremely rich, going from homeless to having an S&P 500 company and a billionaire, that might push your bounds as well too. That's what I'm saying. How has that shaped your life? Are some of you, I know some of you, your whole life, you have been the doubter, more or less, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think some people's, their belief, I don't believe that could happen. You didn't believe in Santa Claus. You didn't believe in the tooth fairy. You can't. You're never one of those people. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, honestly, it's kind of good. But just think about how not having belief or not believing what is created or what can be created, or just believing in general, how has that shaped your life? Ask yourself that, okay? So that is the intro to this. That is the intro to your philosophy here today. Because now we were talking about something on the Instagram last night, and one thing I wanted to ask people was, we were saying why, like, everyone kept asking about humans. Everyone's like, what about humanity? Why is humans And like, why are we like humans like this? Why do humans have why do humans want to have a common enemy? Like all this stuff about everyone wanted to know. It's like everybody wants to know about their humanity. Everybody wants to know where they came from and all this. And it got me thinking, and I asked them this question where it's like, why is your past so important to you, to what you're going to do? And I said, and I don't have an answer to this. I was just genuinely, this is how I got most of these philosophies, is asking questions. It's just literally asking questions. And that's what I wanted to know. Why is it such importance? I don't, just because I'm asking why does not mean I have an answer to it. But I am asking why. Why is this so important? And then this is the question I gave people. Okay? Because, and I'll tell, we'll give you the punchline, but here's the question, and maybe you should answer this. Okay? And don't even, there's no, you could think about it, really. There's no right or wrong. I don't know. I just don't know. And this is hopefully will give you my point. Let's say tomorrow or today, after the stream, you're doing your thing. You want to trade. Most of you have goals by now, hopefully. And if not, I got to get you some goals, baby. Let's go. You got to get you motivated for that, right? You have all these plans. You know what you're going to do. You kind of know who you are, right? So I tell you this today, and I say, hey, both of your parents now, you have these two parents that raised you. What if after hours today you found out that you were 100% adopted? So you found out you're adopted. Your whole life was a lie. How would that affect you and why? Why does that affect you? How does that affect you? And then will that affect what you're going to do moving forward? I don't know. There's no right or wrong answer to this. Please understand that. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying. This is a question I have because so many people are fascinated with where they came from, and it's good to know your roots. But how would that affect you? Would it affect? Some people said, I gave a different example that was a lot darker. And then I was just like, I don't know. Like, it was just something like, would it affect how some people like, oh, it would change how I feel about myself. It would change me moving forward, this and that. So now tell me this, though. Like, would it affect your life if you found that out? Pretty much something that that was related to your identity, of how you identified yourself. If you found out that was false, wrong, compromised, corrupted, whatever you want to call it, would that change your future? Would that change how you're going to behave? Yes, it changed. Why did it change things? This is going to be a deep call. Usually I save this for Instagram at nighttime when it's only 80 people, but this is a real question. I want to know this answer, or I want to understand some of it. That's it. I just want to understand it because of my view with things. You'd want to know your real parents. I think it'll affect how I move forward. But why? Why would it? Why would you? So would you now? If you wanted to know your real parents, would you drop? Would you like? I can't do stocks anymore. I can't do this. Nothing. Would that take the number one priority in your life? Okay. 26 at this point make no difference. It would. You would challenge respect every night. Your ability to trust your own act. Yes, that's what I got from it. When someone, I was like, I feel that. Like, I feel like it would change my outlook on things and what I trusted and who I trusted. But then at the end of the day, it's kind of like I would have been ignorant towards it no matter what. I just got fooled once in a weird, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, was I really fooled? Did those people take care of me? You see what I'm saying? It's a deep question. I would like to think it wouldn't change. The people that raise you are your parents. That's it. Exactly. But then isn't that funny? Because here's the best part about this whole question. Here's the best part about talking about all this. This is where I love it. I love it because it's going to throw any ego, throw that shit in the trash right now. Because I'm sorry. Whether you think you're like, well, it wouldn't affect me. Fuck you. Yes, it would. You don't know. None of us would know. Until you get hit with a bomb like that, You truly would never know. So it doesn't matter what you really say now. If you really, we could talk about it. We could question it. But we don't know how that shit feels unless it's happened. You don't really know what it would do to you unless it happened. So that's the difficulty of addressing this concept and what I'm about to address. You see? So I don't know the answer to this question. And the funny part is, I have had some stuff happen like this in my life before. I've had stuff happen where one thing changed, but it was enough to make you question every single part of your life. However, I took it a little differently. And I think a lot of people take, and that's the key, each one of you responds very, very different. Very, very different. But this is what I've came to the conclusion of, you know? Ooh, finding out your kid isn't yours. I agree. That'd be crazy too. Just escalating your whole childhood. Tooth fairy, lies, Santa Claus, parental parents. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's irrational to predict what you would do in a situation without experiencing it. Yeah, right? Agreed. But somebody has to do it. We got to theorize. We got to philosophize. We have to ask these questions to understand ourselves, right? Because that's what we want. We want to understand ourselves, but better yet, you'll notice if you could understand other people, you could understand yourself. But the more it helps. It does help. I really do think it is. But pretty much what I've came to the conclusion, like I wouldn't let it affect me too much because I've had something happen like that. You know, I wasn't adopted. I wasn't, you know, my dad wasn't a murderer or anything like that. But I've had some crazy shit. And my solution to it, I've just always kind of, I said, it's just not me. I said, I'm me. I'm in my own lane. I've made it this far. I said, God put me through everything in that specific situation, I'm sure for a reason. And it's led me up to where I'm at now. But I'm not going to trade in what I have now for something that could explain how I got here. Or that's it. I just don't identify with it. That's what happens. Even though it happened to me, I just don't identify with it. I just don't see it as affecting me. But that is a conscious decision I made. Now, am I ignoring it? Yeah, of course. Am I, you know what I'm saying? So that's the whole point. But it's just how you could call it a defense mechanism. You could call it however you deal with it, right? So it's an interesting scenario. But what really, this is why it's tough with what I'm about to say, because think about all that. And then now what I'm going to say to you, this has to go with creation. I pretty much think you can change a lot of things. I pretty much think you have the ability to create from here. Point is, shit is going to happen. Shit has happened. None of you grew up perfect. I didn't grow up perfect. Even now, your life isn't perfect. My life isn't perfect. It's just simple as that. Okay? But we all do have the ability to create from here. Doesn't matter what happened to you in the past. That is on you. So now, that's what I was thinking. That's what I want to say. But then what is the immediate counter? Right? What if you were born into a situation? You know? What if you were born into it? That's different, right? I was born, like, I'm broke right now. I've never been around people who taught me anything. I don't have money. I'm in debt. I'm in this situation. I'm never going to get out. I never had access to education. I never had access to a lot of things. Haha, eagle eye, you got it. Circumstance. See, so that got me that got me thinking, because when I thought about that, I said, well, even though you may be born in that situation, that's not a problem. You know, you come to me, Habibi, tell me what you have. I say, not a problem. We get this fixed, very simple. In this case, it's a circumstance. And that's what my philosophy is for you today. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about problems versus circumstance. That's what I want to look at. That's what got me thinking. And this is an unfinished thought, so I'm sharing this with you as I'm going on it. What is the difference between the two? How does it affect us? But ultimately, the conclusion I'm going to get at, what are you going to walk away with this, is I want you to really think about problems versus circumstances and start learning to identify the problems and circumstances and understand the problems and circumstances. Because that's the whole point. You can't change a circumstance. You could fix a problem, though. You could solve a problem. You can't solve a circumstance. You could only change it or work within its realm or its bounds. And that's the crazy. And now, even in this, circumstance is almost equivalent to environment. But, you know, what is the definition of circumstance? Let's see. Yeah. Circumstance, a fact or condition connected with or relevant to an event or action, one state of financial or material welfare. Boom. That's what it is. And this is philosophy. This is for life. I'm telling you, apply this to life. Oh, but man, this applies directly to business and trading. Because now some of you, you're like, my account is down 50%. I lost 50%. I lost this much. I only have this much. Is that a problem? Honestly, if you're down 50%, is that a problem? No, it's not. What is it then? Only if you have kids to feed. Is it a problem? It's opportunity. We're so positive and motivational. Yeah, everything's going to shit. It's opportunity. No, it's not opportunity. It's a circumstance. It's manipulation. That's what it is. No. It's a circumstance. You said, Randall said that's a circumstance that you put yourself in. No, fuck that. You see, everybody ends up in a circumstance, and they're always trying to point a finger and explain, you did this, he did this, she did. No. Listen, what's the definition? Let's just go back to the definition. The definition says it's one state of financial or material welfare. That's simply your current state. So the problem is different than the circumstance. Do you feel me on this? Your account is down. Wherever your account is, that's your circumstance. You might have a different problem. Your problem could be I fat fingered a trade. My problem could have been I didn't sell out when I had money or when I was up in profits. The problem could be I don't know how to make money. Now you're broke. Your circumstance, you're living in a place with no opportunity. You've never been exposed to it. You got to deal with that. You can't change the circumstance. All we could do is change and fix problems to hopefully change the circumstance, to hopefully get into a new circumstance and change our current state. I hope you feel me on this. Some people won't, but some people will. Think about this. If you are on a tropical beach, that would be nice right now with all this quarantine. You're on a beach. You're right on the sand. Palm trees all around you. The birds are... Do they sound like that? They probably sound a little bit more peaceful. The wild animals. It's just very... Like, you're on the most tropical beach ever. You like this, right? Is that a bad circumstance? Is that a bad circumstance? Would you, if you were on this beach with the monkeys in the sand, would this be a bad circumstance? No one's saying. What is the circumstance? Is it a good one or not? Yes, awful circumstance. What do animals say? That's exciting. I would listen to all that. I would feed the monkeys and shit. How do I do that? I tap my inner monkey. So the circumstance isn't a bad circumstance. You're on the beach, not a bad circumstance. But now, if you're on that beach because you got a flat tire and you have an important meeting to go to, well then, it's still not a bad circumstance. You're just in a current state of you need to go somewhere, and now you have this, but now you're in a current state of being somewhere, but you have a problem. You see that? You have a problem. The circumstance, but there's a problem. I'm in this current state, but there is a problem. So, this is what I want to talk about. Problems versus circumstances. Are you identifying them and are you addressing them? And then how many of you now are not finding solutions and not making actions because you're confusing a circumstance with a problem? Or how many of you are letting your circumstance dictate your ability to solve problems and fix what's wrong? And then even then, are you focusing on the right thing to fix? You see what I'm saying? If somebody's dying, you know, that's like somebody dying and they're going through cardiac arrest and you're like, oh my gosh, they're going through cardiac arrest. Let's get them in an ambulance quick. If they're dying and they are cardiac arrest and then you go get an ambulance and you put them in an ambulance, but you put them in the ambulance and you don't do anything to fix their problem, they're in a different circumstance. You've changed the environment, but would changing the environment or circumstance do anything? I don't know if you do. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you just get what I just told you right there? I don't think you do. I hope you do. Because that could strike deep. No, you don't? That's okay. Maybe this one will explain it for you. It's like when you're trading and you found this new strategy and you're trading and then you lose all your money with it. And then what you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come back again, but I'm going to just try a brand new strategy. I found the exact same way. I'm going to just go now. This time I tried penny stocks. Let's try technicals now. You're dying, and you change the environment, but you didn't fix the problem. So if someone's, doesn't matter if you put them in an ambulance, it doesn't matter if you change the environment or circumstance, because if you don't fix the problem, what good is that? That's what I'm saying. Some of you, you're switching strategies. You're changing. You're like, I'm gonna go to this Discord. Oh, I can't be around Josh. I'd lost. You're gonna go 20 different Joshes, 20 different this and that, all over the place, and you're never gonna fix the problem of learning how to control money. You're never gonna fix the problem of your greed. You're gonna change your whole entire circumstance, but never the problem. Never gonna look at the problem that every single time, like I said yesterday, you never make the fucking decision until after the contract goes down. Because when you're in the moment, you never want to risk, okay, I'm gonna get a learning lesson. I'm gonna walk away with something because what could happen? The problem never got fixed. You never fixed the problem. You're just changing the ambulance. You're going in ambulance. You're like, maybe if I go in the hospital, I'll get healthy. Until they identify the problem, till they put you in the checkup room and say, here's your problem, and then go to fix the problem. Doesn't matter if you're in the hospital, home, or the ambulance, baby. Doesn't matter if you're in the chat, you're in a group. It doesn't matter where you are. You got to find the problems and don't confuse them with circumstances and stop trying to change circumstances to fix the problem and avoid the problem, because that's what's happening. How many of you done that with your friends? Some of you, the problem isn't that your friends don't want it. You know, you think the problem is your friends don't want to hear about stocks? No. It's you. You're all up in their grill. You're all telling them about it. You're flexing on them. You're chastising them. You're judging them. You're so fucking annoying with this stock market shit, bro. You talk more than I do about it. I talk on my live. That's why I'm saying, like, it's my live stream. You know what I'm saying? You know I'm going to talk about it here. I ain't going up to everybody. I'm like, you're not investing. I don't get, why are you guys doing that? Nah, man. I'm just, when I'm rich and famous and I do a lot better, you're going to think I'm not saying that to people. I'm not saying that to my friends. My friends, I say, hey, they're like, yo, teach. I'm like, just come on YouTube then if you want, That's it. After hours, talk to me about something else. But do you see what I'm saying? You go change your group of friends. You change the circumstance you're in. You're like, I'm surrounded by all of these people who don't want. Go ahead. Go find a new group. What happened? Same exact thing. Was that the circumstance or the problem? Damn. Problem equals internal, circumstances external. It's like blaming the shirt for making you look fat. That's a good one, yeah. I like that. It's hard to say in this example. I would have to think a little deeper on that. So hopefully you get the point I'm saying. You can't be pressuring people to doing what you believe in. Amen. That's why, I love my Bible. I love Jesus. You don't love Jesus? Good for you. I don't care. I don't do what I do. I tell anything I say, I tell you guys don't do what I do. Isn't that funny? Think about it. I'm rarely telling and sometimes I do, and I try to catch myself. I'll be like, I'm talking to myself. I hit them with the little win. I say, I'm talking to myself. I'm not talking to you. Do whatever you want. I'm doing what I'm doing. You do whatever you want to do. I don't care. You love Jesus. You don't love Jesus. Fine. You want to YOLO. You don't YOLO. That's okay. You play Tesla. I don't play Tesla. Do whatever you want. I don't care. It's beautiful. But that identify the problems. Identify the circumstance. Okay? That's what we need to talk about. And that's what I want you to walk away with. That's what I want you guys to think. And because the end of the day is that you can create. I encourage you all to create and focus on, the point is, circumstances, though, are more or less harder to change than to fix a problem. Does that make sense? It's easier to find a solution to something than to change how you grew up. You guys realize that, right? It's a lot easier and more productive to just go do something than to change what you were raised as, or I didn't have this, I didn't have that. You can't change that. All you could do is figure out the problem in your circumstance and just focus on the solution. So what if you need to change your circumstance? Stop focusing on your circumstance and isolate the problem. That's how you do it. That's the problem, because now, do you see why I'm making this as a philosophy? Because the problem is we've interconnected problem and circumstance. We think they go hand in hand. I don't think they do. I think they have a symbiotic nature of some sort, internal, external, like Mustafa said. But at the same time, I think you got to isolate the circumstance. So remove your circumstance from what you're going, and then that's how you figure out anything. You're doing diagnostics on anything. You got to start removing variables to really identify the problem. So you have to start looking at your situation regardless of, okay, I'm in this situation. I grew up like this. Okay, remove that. We can't change how you grew up. We can't change your bank account right here, right now. We can't change what you didn't know and what you didn't know. We can't change if you've met people in your life or not. So what's stopping you from learning more? Why? What's the problem making me not learn more? What's the problem making me not have connections? What problem is making me not have my money in my bank account? Is it my budgeting? Is it my anxiety? Is it that I'm too shy, that I'm too scared? Do I just want to look cool, so I'm scared to embarrass myself? What is it? But don't get caught up in the thing when you go through all those problems and then you say, well, it's because of my circumstance. No, it's not because of your You see what I'm saying? You're not broke, right? Your bank account does not have barely enough right now because you were born like that. Maybe you're in a circumstance that requires you have to pay for this. I get it. But there's somewhere you probably just don't even have a budget. Simple as that. It's not saying you spend your money here, this and that, but do you have a budget? Richest man in Babylon, he says a budget is the light in a dark cave showing you where all of the water is falling out. There's certain problems that can be addressed before we get to the circumstance. Because regardless if I change the circumstance, because guess what? Some of you got a $50,000 TLT check last month, and some of those same people still don't have it. Circumstance got, changed real quick, but the problem was never solved. You see? The greed, the budget, everything, that didn't change anything. They call you new money. You were the same person you were. You just got a check. That's why whether I lose or make money, you guys couldn't tell. I've got past that because that's not my circumstance anymore. That's not money is no longer the problem nor solution. Even if I was broke, it wouldn't be. Because I'd be like, it's not the fact that I don't have money. It's the fact of how I control myself. For me, when I would go broke, I've done that so many, I would get rich as fuck and I go broke all the time. And even when I was broke before I got rich, I would have no self-control. The problem wasn't my ability to make or money or anything. It was my ability. You throw me in something I like or gets me going, I went crazy. I was like, yeah, I like that. Give me 10 of them. So you guys want to party? Let's go to Vegas, baby. You guys know how much I used to go to Vegas? I had a house in Vegas. I love it. I wasn't even going crazy. Then I was getting more self-control. Then we go back. I go back and forth. Bought all these fucking cars. Like, dude, it's stupid shit. But it's self-control. That's what it was. That's why until I managed myself, nothing else mattered. The circumstance wasn't, I should have blamed my parents, right? Maybe I should have blamed my parents and be like, you guys didn't teach me this. They didn't teach me about, maybe I should blame the school system. The school system didn't teach me about taxes. No, I'm like, I didn't have to do this. Maybe I'll blame my parents and all these people, man. He didn't set me, nobody prepared me for this circumstance. I could blame them. But would it have gotten me what do I want? You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I just want my money this time. I want my peace. I want my happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, just give me what I want. Just give me what I want. At this point, my parents don't got money like that. They ain't going to give me the money. They can't give me the self-control. They're not going to give me that. No, none of those teachers had shit I wanted. They ain't going to give me anything. I just want the Lexus. Give me the Lexus. Just give me the Lexus. That's it. See? But problems and circumstances. Are you feeling me on this? I hope you guys are feeling me, man. I hope you're feeling me on this because I hope you're not getting in this situation where you're trying to just always resorting back to blaming the circumstance when there's something we could change. And now, undoubtedly, like I said, if something happened to you, I've had stuff happen to me. It's going to affect you. And maybe that is part of the problem. But the point is, it wouldn't be a problem if there wasn't a solution. That's it. They would call it an accident at that point, or they would call it a catastrophe or a disaster when there's no solution. If there's a problem, that means there's an answer. That's good. So let's find out the answer. And let's identify what has been leading us down these paths of problems, or what has been keeping us now. And this is the real question. What problems are keeping you in your circumstance? That's it. You want me to say that again? Because I think, what problem is keeping you in your circumstance? Your girlfriend. It's not your girlfriend, dude. Telling you. It's you. I'll speak even from my experience with stuff. It's not, no. That's the circumstance. It's how you treat your girlfriend is probably the problem. How you let you treat yourself because you have a girlfriend, that's your problem. You know, your girl takes care of you, she's cute, beauty in your eye, whatever, that's, you know, that doesn't sound like a bad circumstance. You know, there's a lot of lonely people out there. So, what's the real problem? Don't blame others. You see? Other people, my friends, that's usually a fake answer. That's how the devil's going to get you. Saying your problem is another person. Your problem isn't another person. It's usually not. That's a cop-out. Yeah. That's why. Do you see why? It has nothing to do with Donald Trump, my friends. It has nothing to do with whatever old-ass white person is on in the politician thing. And yes, I did say that because I don't like how the system is. Do you know what the problem is? Is people are using that as a cheat code to just say, oh, it's Donald Trump. They're blaming a person. That's not the problem. Do you see what I'm saying? The problem is not the person. That's the cop-out. Find what it is. Find the real problem with how we behave through behavior and stuff like that. The system, what about the system? You see what don't tell me the system, the orange, the peach, no, what about it? Okay, and then once you tell me what's wrong, I don't give a shit. How are we going to fix it? Dumb people talk about problems. Smart people talk about solutions. One of my mentors told me that, and he told me that yelling at me before. And he was like, he was like, you always talk about the problems. He said, let me tell you something, son. Only dumb people talk about problems. He said, give me a solution. He said, don't come to me without a solution. I don't care what you tell me without a solution. He said, I could have told you that. It was crazy. I was sensitive at first when he said that too. I was like, okay. I was like, this guy, man. But it really did click with me when I did listen to what he was saying. Because I was like, huh, he's right. He's really, really right. Like, what good is it about So I'm telling you to identify the problem, but not so you could sit in the problem. We need to identify problems and circumstances so we could have a solution. There's no point in telling me what Trump is doing or this politician is doing if you're not going to give me a solution. Give me a solution or go fix it yourself. Otherwise, this talk gets us nowhere. Your talk isn't going to change my circumstance. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what all of us are trying to do. Isn't that funny? At the end of the day, every single one of us, including myself, we are all here trying to change our circumstance, our current financial and welfare. Health, everything. You want to change the circumstance for your family, for you. You want to be in a certain circumstance and change where you're at now. I want to be in a financial state where I could take care of the people who took care of me. I want to be in a financial state where I could take care of myself and I could do it. That's what you want. Everybody wants to change their circumstance. You solve problems, you change your circumstance. Guaranteed. That's how it works. They're interlinked, but they're very mutually exclusive. Very different. That's what we need to be looking at. We need to say, how can we change our circumstance? What problems are getting in the way of changing our circumstance? And how are we going to fix those problems? What is the solution? That's it. Solve the virus problem. Amen. Why do you think, I was already up $200,000 before people were even tripping out. If you really think about it, we already made a lot of money. We were in the game. You know what I started telling you? I could have told, I had my theories and this and that. I said, wash your hands. I came on here early February saying, everybody, can you do me a favor and all wash your hands? Can you stay inside? You could have told me, what about this? Or these people are doing this or this. I said, I don't give a shit. All you can do is a solution, wash your hands and stay inside. That's something you can do. That could change the circumstance. I'm not going to tell you about the problem. This virus is doing this and then this many people. And did you guys think about this? Yeah, we do theorize it in an economic sense, but that's why I love economics. I bring up every problem economically speaking with a lens of trying to find a solution or to explain the problem or to explain the circumstance, to say what went here. You called who a liar? I did, and you know what I said? And you know what I did? I came with a solution. You know what my solution was? I stopped playing the World Health Organization for you guys. We listened to that shit for 1 fucking week. I said, fuck this. New solution. That's a problem. I see the problem. Here's my solution. Please, and anything you could say. This was a very difficult time, and during all this, I did try to focus on solutions. I could have complained. I could have said a lot of things. I could have done a lot. I could have done a lot of no solution. I could have done a lot of problem calling, and I'm very good at that. But mostly everything I tried to do, and I say mostly because I'm a human. I make mistakes. But mostly everything I tried to go for was a solution. Problem, racism, and classification. Solution, reparations. No. Because if the problem is classification and racism and reparations, the only way you could give reparations is if you literally classify people and say, you are this, you are that, you get this because of that. The solution is unity. The solution is love. The solution is understanding that everyone thinks they're special when you're exactly the same as that person you're speaking to or looking at. That's the solution is in incentivizing positivity. The solution is incentivizing love. The solution is giving, these are possible solutions. And reparations could be a solution. But be careful that you don't fall back into the problem with your solution, hence blaming people like blaming Trump. You're falling, even though you're it could be the solution, but it's someone else. It could there's a different solution. And you're right, the solution is God. But that's a problem for people. So I give them the other next solution. Just believe in something. Believe in yourself. Be positive. Be positive, believe in yourself. You'll get closer to God than you're closer to the kingdom than you think, my friend. Oh, see, y'all don't feel me, man. See, every a lot of things I do are based upon this concept. I mean, I guess maybe that one time I got yelled at by one of my mentors really stuck with me. I do like solutions. I love my solutions because that's all that matters. At the end of the day, I need to change my circumstance. I want to change my circumstance. Only way I could do that is by fixing a problem. And what I've learned is a person isn't going to fix my problem. It's usually a system or something beneath that. It's usually a behavior. It's usually an action and not a person that fixes the problem. So don't get caught up blaming a person, because blame doesn't even matter. Again, you could find all the blame, but unless we get the solution, it doesn't matter, because my circumstance will still be the same if you don't change that solution, if there's no real solution to what you're saying. We're all in the same circumstance right now. This virus stuff. Isn't that funny? we're all in the same circumstance, but we each have different problems. Do you see why this economic situation is so difficult to solve? Do you see why I'm even going back and forth when I'm looking at what is the solution? Do you let them fail? Do you let them not fail? What do you do? What is the solution? Because everybody is dealing, and this is a weird time where we've had everybody deal with a universal circumstance that was very, very universal. Very rare to ever have that. No, very rare. All of us would, there's a very rare opportunity, you and I, and then the guy in Mexico and the guy in China would be in the same circumstance. Do you truly understand how unique that is, my friends? Really think about that. But we all have different problems. Every single person's problem is 180 different. Your problems are going to work. My problem's collecting a rent check. Your problem is you can't see your friends. I can't see my mom. Do you see where I'm saying? So how do we solve everybody's, you see, it's a crazy moment we live in. But figuring out the solution will indeed change the circumstance. That's it. You know, I said I could go get tests. I could go find out if I have it. I could stay inside. I could do this. I could, you know what? I can't see these people. I could FaceTime them. Maybe I could stream a little bit more. I don't get the rent checks, but maybe we could find a solution to help these people because, you know, I'm in the business of real estate. If people can't pay rent, I mean, sure, I can make money, but I've made all my money in real estate helping people. So if I find this solution, you know, we just got to think of solutions. But don't get in this circular argument saying the problem is the circumstance and the circumstance is the problem and then this person is the problem. But, you know, I don't like problem, circumstance, problem. I want solution somewhere in there. It should go circumstance, problem, solution, and then it goes all the way back to a different circumstance. And then that's a cycle. Picture a chart, just a circle, right? This is your circumstance. Circumstance leads to UNH. It leads to a problem. Then what happens? You go from a problem to a solution. You throw the solution in there, and what happens? You get a brand new circumstance, and then it repeats all over again. And that's a cycle. Then everything's a cycle, you see? But if you don't get the solution, you're just bouncing back and forth. Problem, circumstance, problem. You don't, guess what? You don't go anywhere. You see? By throwing in the solution into the cycle, we go all around this whole chart. We go all around the E-Trade Pro. We're going all around. We making moves. Circumstance, problem, solution, circumstance, problem, solution, circumstance, problem, solution. Whereas if not, you know what you're doing? You're going back and forth. You're moving sideways. I would sell premium on you. You're looking like a beautiful iron condor. You ain't making no moves. You just telling me about the problem, that's the circumstance, and the circumstance, the problem. I'll sell premium on you all day, baby. You're not making moves. You move less than them indexes do. It's crazy. So get some solutions and start, guess what, baby? This is what I left, the first philosophy that I think changed a lot and that left us where we're at today. Go and create, baby. That's what it is. I don't like the Bible. Fuck all that. I don't care. I'm not telling you to do anything. This is what I'm telling you to do. Go create. That's it. That's the beauty of all of this, and that's what you're supposed to walk away with. Identify the problems, identify the circumstance so you could have a solution and go create. Whatever the circumstance, whatever the problem, create a solution. Go create something. Okay? Stop getting caught up not creating. That's it. You are either going to consume or you are going to create, my friend. Go create. That's what I want from you right now. That's the whole point of all of this. You are made in God's image. God was a creator. You are a creator. And somebody asked me that. They're like, why? They're like, humans, what makes us so superior to anything? I said it's our ability to create. Like, we're humans. Yeah, we could talk, we could do stuff, but we could create. And we're not, like, look at a beaver. Big beavers, They create a home. They create a dam. It's like this little wood thing. It does all this shit. It's cool. It's dope, right? You know, that's dope beaver shit, right? We're humans. When we create homes, they're gigantic. They have central heating. We have energy and water and all. We have the ability to create at a level that nobody creates at. No being or thing. That's why we're superior. You could be a shark, you could be a bear. I got this little gun in my pocket that I created, and it'll clap your ass. It don't matter how big that's creation. Ugh. The internet. We didn't just create basic stuff. We create superior stuff. We create the most ridiculous stuff. So, think about that. Go create, baby. Identify your problems. Understand it's different from the circumstance. And have a solution to the problems to change the circumstance, baby. Okay? So I'm encouraging you to go out and create. Because whatever happens, whatever you are how you are. You were born this way. You were born with this. A lot of things could have happened. But you can create from here if you decide to. If you decide to. That's on you. So I'm giving you the invitation. Take it if you want it. Go create. Stop getting caught between your circumstance and problem. Stop trying to change the circumstance without finding a solution to the problem. And that's it. Okay? So, I'm going to leave you on that. That is your philosophy, ladies and gentlemen.